Let me transition from John Morant back to the NFL, specifically a former NFL player by the name of Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant made news on a few occasions. He's obviously an outspoken individual and, clearly has aspirations to have his own voice, to say the least. He tweets a lot, I can tell you that much. And he's been tweeting a lot. And last week, I had to address him, or a few days ago, I had to address him because he came out with a tweet about me the other day. And the tweet said, and you can see it right here for yourself, quote, "I really want to get in a boxing ring with Stephen A. Smith and Stu Presidente," which is Dave Portnoy. I didn't even know that at the time. And he says, "Folks like them talk the way they do because they know they can't get touched. But I wish they would agree to get in the ring with me so I can unleash my frustration against them. I can beat the shit, blah, blah, blah." And I addressed the subject, basically saying what the hell is wrong with Dez Bryant. I never had any issue with him. But secondly, and more importantly, what's going on in your life when you're saying that you would consider it a blessing to, he said, quote, "I can beat the shit out of them without going to jail. I need that blessing." I said, what's going on with your life when that's your definition of a blessing? Beating somebody's ass and you don't have to go to jail. It's always a boxing ring. It's always UFC. I mean, I'm looking at Dez right now. How old is he? He's 35 years of age. Just turned 35 November 4th. There are opportunities to fight if you want to. Last time we saw him in the National Football League, he was walking around at 220, 230. About 40 pounds, 50 pounds heavier than me. And I'm 20 plus years older than him, but he wants to beat me up. Okay. But I felt the need to address it because I thought that was beyond the pale and I thought that was uncalled for. And to his credit, not only did he take that tweet down, but he said that I was right. It's just that he has a lot of things that he wants to speak on. Let me say this. Dez Bryant has been through a lot. And there are people who have been incredibly unfair to him. Him being a member of the Dallas Cowboys did not help because, I like to troll them, but that's all in fun. You love the Dallas Cowboys, you hate the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas loves to be loved and hated. They loved being, America's team to a whole bunch of people and the pariah to everybody else. They don't love the in-between, which is why their owner, Jerry Jones, is an absolute master at marketing because he feeds off of that and he lives in it. And to be honest with you, that's why he and I have a great relationship because he knows I'm just having fun. Yes, I hate on Dallas Cowboy fans. Not the team, the fans. I like trolling them, just like they like trolling me, but it's all in fun. I take pictures with Dallas Cowboy fans all over the place. We go back and forth. I just hate that scream, "How about them Cowboys?" because I don't think they've won anything to deserve it over the last damn near 30 years. But that's just me. But it's all in fun. There's nothing malicious or vicious about it, but just having a good time. And Jerry Jones gets that, which is why myself, with him and his son Stephen Jones and their family, we have a good relationship with one another. They know it's just a lot. It's all in fun. That's all it is. All right? But Dez Bryant wasn't talking about that. He's talking about something entirely different. And he's talking about something entirely different because obviously he's an incredibly frustrated individual. The question is he justified with his frustration? I think in the days and weeks to come, we're going to learn that. Because yes, he took down that tweet, which I appreciate. And yes, he explained himself to some degree, manned up, which he is, because he is a man. And I appreciate that. And then he's on social media talking about he's going to come out with his own podcast. Let me say to Dez Bryant, I support you coming out with your own podcast. Man, you got stuff to say it. I understand. Just make sure you got evidence to back it up. Don't be on there venting. Like, have evidence. Because ultimately, if you market yourself as somebody who has a lot to say, because you got a lot to get off your chest, well, what happens when you get it off your chest? Then what? What's that going to take? 1 show, 5 shows, 10 shows? I do 3 shows a week. What you going to do after that? There's but so much venting you can do when it comes to you personally. And clearly he has an axe to grind with media members or whatever. I think a lot of times folks get media members confused with bloggers. I'm a member of the media. I'm mindful and cognizant of the tenets that come along with the profession. A player having a podcast is not the media. You can call it new media like Draymond Green likes to call it. I get it. But I assure you it's something different. I'm like legally and beyond. There's a responsibility to come with it. There's tenets and rules and regulations and minefields we know how to avoid. Because we're the media. As opposed to people just running our mouths. So I think it's important to keep those things into consideration. And that's what I would say. I'm happy that Dez Bryant is thinking about coming out with his own podcast. I'm happy that he acknowledged that I was right. I have no axe to grind with him. I've always had mad love and respect for Dez Bryant. You know, I don't agree with everything he says, but that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of things he says that I do agree with. There's a lot of points he makes that I think are valid. And as an NFL player that was a star in this league for 8 years with the Dallas Cowboys before he tore his Achilles and ultimately was out for 2 seasons from 2018 to 2020 before he came back as a Baltimore Raven, but his career was pretty much over by that particular moment in time. It is what it is. His football mind and his football acumen may be something that we don't know a lot about, but we need to know. I'm anxious to hear it. But as it pertains to this stuff, getting stuff off his chest, he wants to talk to a brother. Ain't nobody running. I'm happy to talk with him. If he wants to have a conversation and converse back and forth in a respectful manner, I'm all for it. He's welcome to come on this show. And I'm sure he's going to go on other shows as well. So it's all good. Just wanted to let him know that. He's cool with me, always been cool with me. Even when I disagree with his tweet and all of that stuff, he was still cool with me. Others not named Dez Bryant will never be cool with me. And they know who the hell they are. But Dez Bryant's not one of those people. I'm cool with him. It's all good. He's entitled to his opinion, to vent and express himself. It's okay. All right? So I look forward to talking to him. Hopefully he'll be on the show sooner than later. And hopefully he'll come out with his own podcast. I'll be very interested in seeing what he has to say, as I am and what most athletes have to say. I think we owe it to them. I think we should be rooting for them. I think we should be fans of them. That's why I show up on podcasts from time to time when folks ask me to. You know, we asked to interview them. When they ask to interview us, I think that we should jump at that. I think we owe it. All the time we take from athletes to interview them, even though it's a part of their job, contractually and otherwise, they don't have to give us as much time as they give us a lot of times. So if we talk to them, the least, if they talk to us, the least we could do is talk to them. Ain't nobody running from that.